because I'm not editing too much. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you should have these 4 boxes filled in. The technical definition is a line segment is part of a line made up of 2 endpoints and all the points in between. Here is a visual example. Let me zoom in. I know it's kind of hard to see in the back, yeah? Okay, so this is a line segment. It has 2 endpoints with the line in between. To name a line segment, you use the endpoints. So this would be segment AB, segment BC, and then the entire thing would be segment AC. And then just some quick facts. Of course, a line segment can be measured. One of the types of problems that will be on Schoology is it'll show a line segment and then like a ruler underneath. All you need to do is measure that line segment with the ruler it gives you. So something pretty simple right there. A line segment, of course, has a beginning and an end. And this is something that's kind of weird. The length of AB, when we're talking about the length of a line segment, it has that little symbol over it. When we're just referring to the line segment as a whole, it doesn't have the symbol over it, but these both represent the line segment. Okay, so these first few examples, really simple, just to go over the concept of it all. It says to find the length of xy. So length of xy, just looking at this segment here, xy is the entire segment. So we have endpoint x and y. To find the length of that entire thing, we just add 7 plus 9. So 7 plus 9 equals 16. So the length of xy equals 16. And that's our answer. Okay, the next one, the same thing. We're finding the length of xy. You don't need to highlight if you don't want to. It's up to you. To find the length of xy, we're going to just add 12 plus 3 equals 15. So the length of xy equals 15. Pretty easy so far, right? Okay, so for number 3, just looking at the picture is a little bit different, where xy is just this part of the segment here. So it tells us the entire length of that segment is 12. This part is 5. So this part right here, you would just do 12 minus 5 equals 7. So xy equals 7. Notice that it's not to scale. This is 5 and this is 7. This is shorter. So be careful. If you're doing multiple choice and trying to narrow it down based on that, don't, because sometimes it's just not to scale. Okay, so this whole concept is called the segment addition property. There's an example right here, and if B is between A and C, so if B is between point A and point C, then you can say that segment AB plus segment BC equals the entire thing. So segment AB plus segment BC equals the entire segment AC. Okay, so now we have a couple more examples of the segment addition postulate or property. It says find the length of HG right here. Well, it says the entire length of HF is 10, and this little part is 1. So in order to find just this part, we're going to subtract. So it would be 10 minus 1 equals 9. So the length of HG equals 9. So far, so good. Okay, the next one, it says find JL. Looking at this, JL is the entire segment. It gives us both parts. We're dealing with decimals now. There is a part of the geometry FSA, just like with algebra, that half of the test is non-calculator and half of it is with calculator. So some basic operations you do need to be able to do by hand. when we're adding decimals, we do line up the decimals. And we get 12.3. So the length of JL equals 12.3. Okay, now we're going to get into a concept. I'm sure you've heard the word congruent before. Congruent means that they're the exact same shape and size, the exact same measurements. So congruent segments are segments that have the same measure. And the symbol that is used for congruent, it looks like this. It's an equal sign with a squiggle on top, and when you see that, that means that two things are congruent. Okay, so A right here, it says that segment AB is congruent to PQ. So we read that segment AB is congruent to segment PQ. If you see it like set up like this, AB is equal to PQ, that means AB is equal length to PQ, and therefore they are congruent. It's just different ways you might see it written. In this diagram here, let's say this is a rectangle. In a rectangle, the opposite sides are congruent, so these two are the same length. That little tally means that those sides are the same length. So if you see that tally, that means that AD is congruent to BC, segment BC. Ooh, I hit my elbow. That hurt. Okay, and also with a rectangle, opposite sides are equal, so this side is congruent to this one. I used a different number of tallies just to show that this side is equal to this one, so segment AB is congruent to segment DC. So whatever has the matching number of tallies, that means it's the same length. There could sometimes be 3 tallies or 4 tallies. As long as the number of tallies matches, that means they are the same. Okay, now we're going to move to the back. Oh, that's my reminder to record, which I am, which is good. Okay, on to the back. Oh wait, not the back, it's kind of like over here. Oh no, it's hard to see. Okay, I'm kind of like peeling this back a little bit. Okay, there are instructions there. You might not be able to see them very well. So we're going to use those instructions to label this diagram and figure out different lengths. So it says that PS is 46, so that means this entire segment right here, PS is 46 units. It says that PR is 18, so this right here is 18. And it also says that PQ is equal to QR. So that means this segment is the same length as this one. Okay, so before I look at like what it's asking me over here, I'm going to label as many dimensions as I can. If this is 18 and then these are both the same length, what is each little segment? 9. Perfect. So you divide 18 by 2 and you get both of those segments. So that's 9 and 9. And then right here, I could do 46 minus 18 and I could 28. So this right here is 28. Okay, so now that I have every part labeled, I can look at what it's asking for. It says, what is the length of PQ? I have that labeled as 9. QR, 9 as well. QS, okay, so QS would be the 28 plus 9. 28 plus 9 is 37. So this would be 37. And then RS is just 28. Okay, then it has an example here. This example is similar to this one, but one step harder. I want you to try it and see how much you can get done on your own. So for this example, it has dimensions here. Label it and see how many of these you can answer on your own. So take these, label this, and then in like a minute or so, we'll check back. Okay, I put the answers up here. Go ahead and give it a quick glance. See if you got some of the same answers. Did you get the same numbers, or maybe not all of them? Okay. Here, I'm going to quickly go through how to get those answers just in case. Okay, so I labeled that the whole thing was 52, which is what this said. It also says that xz is 20, and then it tells me that wx, xy, and yz are all the same length. So this is the same length as this and this. Okay, so for this segment, I can divide 20 by 2 to get each of those. So this would be 10 and 10, and it also tells me that this is the same length as those, so this must also be 10. So that's how we got that. Now, 52 minus 30 would leave me with 22 here. And then from here, I'm going to answer the question. So Wx, that was 10. Vw, 22. Wy, so that's two of those identical segments, so that would be 20. Vx, that would be the 22 plus 10, which would be 32. Wz is these three segments, which would be 30. And then Vy, it's the 22 plus 10 plus 10, which would be 42. That's how we got those. It's kind of like a puzzle. What's tricky about this is when you're doing an assessment online, like you'll be doing for the FSA or for your homework, you may have to like sketch this out and label it all because it'll make it easier to figure out. Okay, now we're going to do the same kind of idea, but we're working in some algebra. So let's bring that back in our heads. Here it says to find the length of VW right here. We can see that this is labeled 3x, this is labeled x plus 8, and the entire thing is 32. Before we find this length, we have to solve for x, and we do that using the segment addition postulate. So we'll do, make sure it's in the screen, 3x plus 8 equals 32. So I just added those together and put it equal to 32, and then I'll solve for x. So I combined my like terms, 3x plus x is 4x. Subtract 8 from both sides, I get 4x equals 24. and so x equals 6. Now, it can be tempting to go to the multiple choice and look for x equals 6, and what stinks is x equals 6 will be in the multiple choice, and it's not the correct answer. It asks for the length of VW, and VW is x plus 8, so VW equals 6 plus 8, so the length of VW equals 14. And that's the answer that you want to choose in the multiple choice. So you have to be careful, make sure that you go back and plug in the x, because most of the time it'll ask for a length, not actually x. Okay, and next, find the length of YZ right here. Just like in the last problem, this plus this will equal 27, so we have to solve for x first. 2x plus 3 plus 3x minus 1 equals 27. Go ahead and solve this for x on your own. Bring back that algebra into your brain. So you should have gotten x equals 5. And then to finish solving the problem, because it wants the length of yz equals 3x minus 1, so we're going to plug in that 5. We have 15 minus 1, so yz equals 14. Okay, and the next one, same idea. Has it set up. Let's solve for a. It says find the value of a and the value of xy. So we'll find a first, of course. Just 3a plus 14 equals 5a minus 4. 3a plus 14 equals 5a minus 4. Uh-oh. Did I get the wrong answer? Yeah, I think. Oh, I added 4 to both sides instead of 14. I did get the wrong answer. Okay. See, I'm not perfect either. Wait, what did I just do? Oh, okay, I put 24 or some, I don't know what I did. Okay, 18 equals 2a, and then a equals 9. Okay, a equals 9, and then to find xy, we plug it in here. So xy is 3a, so then xy equals 3 times 9, xy equals 27. Okay, and the harder ones, if you consider them harder, I don't know, sometimes they won't give you the diagram drawn out and you have to draw it out for yourself. So this is an example where they don't give you the diagram, they just tell you that you have a segment, and it says that point S is between R and T. So we have to draw that. Point S is between R and T. And then it says that RS is 2x plus 10, and ST is x minus 4, and then RT, the whole thing, is 21. Okay, so now we go ahead and solve for x. 2x plus 10 plus x minus 4 equals 21. What is going on? And then we take the 5 and we plug it back in. So it wants us to find the length of RS and ST. So 2 times 5 plus 10 and then for ST should be 5 minus 4, which is 1. ST equals 1. I don't know why I use parentheses there. I don't need them. Okay. I'm not even going to have us do this last example. I don't think it's necessary. It just kind of repeats the same process. But that's the gist of the lesson. Any questions? Think you can do it? As far as the homework goes, there'll probably be only like so you'll be given 10 questions. There'll probably only be like a couple of these harder ones, but most of them will be like rather simple. You may have to like sketch it out on your paper and label it. That would be what I would recommend, because on the computer you can't like write on, well, on your phone you can't like write on the screen. So I don't collect the work for it, but obviously you will have to do work for some of the problems. You can either do it in like the outskirts of these notes, or if you have like a scratch sheet of paper, you could use that. If you need a scratch sheet of paper, let me know. Yeah, so the rest of class, you will need to work on your homework on Schoology, and then if you finish that, you need to start Khan Academy. So it'll be homework 1-2 on Schoology. It'll give you 10 questions at a time. You're looking for an 8 out of 10 or higher for full credit. So if you get 8 out of 10, then I put 10 out of 10 in the grade book. If you get less than 8 out of 10, I just put whatever you get. So let's say you get a 7 out of 10, that's what you'll get for your homework if you stay at a 7 out of 10. But there is 5 attempts, so use all of your attempts to get your highest score. These questions are reused on tests as well, so it doesn't hurt to practice more problems. Once you finish your homework, once you get your 8 out of 10, then you need to work on your weekly Khan Academy. You have Khan Academy due on Friday. You have the entire week to work on it. You need to do 8 Khan Academy assignments with a 70% or higher on them. So if you do 8 with a 70% or higher, that's full credit. If you want to stash extra credit for whatever reason, you can do all 10 and get even more extra credit. Khan Academy this week specifically is easy just to get everyone in the routine of doing Khan Academy. So if you want to stash extra credit, I would do it now, early in the quarter, because it will get a little bit harder, but it's meant to just like, I don't know, give you the most opportunity for the best grade. Any questions? Okay, so you can get your phones, get on Schoology, get started.